This is transposition using the opposites method, which is the most obvious and the normal way of doing most transpositions. The first method that we went through, which was crisscross, it only works for multiplication and division. As soon as we bring in an addition or a subtraction or a square root, then that method will not work. So it's only multiplication and division. So let's go straight into an example of how to deal with opposites. So here is the formula. So x plus 4 equals 18. And I want us to find the value of x. So the question you ask yourself is, what is attached to x? And at the minute it's the plus 4. So let's write x equals 18, which is our next line, and this plus 4 needs to move away from the x to leave it on its own. So the plus 4, if it goes from this left hand side and moves over to the right hand side, it goes from a plus to a minus. Plus 4 minus 4. And we can then finish this. X equals 18 minus 4 is 14. Job done. Let me do another example. 21 equals p minus 5. And p is what we need to find the value of. So we want p on its own, which means we need to remove this. And it will go to the other side to leave p all on its own. So what is the opposite of minus 5? It's plus 5 on the other side. So this is 21 equals p, and the minus 5 moves over here and becomes plus 5. So a bit of complicated arithmetic. 26 equals p. So this is correct, but as normal we write the subject on the left. P equals 26. Okay, so let's do a different example. That was about addition and subtraction. Let's move on and have a little look at multiplication and division. So once again, let's take a simple formula. 2p equals 12. P is what I want to find, and I need to move the 2. So p equals 12. What's going to happen with the 2? You need to decide how it's attached. It's 2 times p. So if it's 2 times on this side, we're going to divide by 2 on the opposite side. Change side, change sign. Multiply, divide. And from that we could get p equals 6. Let's do another one. 8 equals x over 3. X is what I want to find. I need to move this 3 out of the way. So 8 equals x. On this side it's divide by 3, so when it moves to this side it's times by 3. 8 times 3 equals x. And let's do this in one move. Put the subject on the left. 8 times 3 is 24. Okay, let's do a different example. And I'll just move up to this part of the page for it. 12 equals 60 over f. So what makes this different is the subject that we need to find is on the bottom. and the same rules apply as previously. The thing you want to find must ultimately be on the top line. So this needs to be moved to the top. So ask yourself at this side, how is the f attached? And it's divided by f. So if we divide by f on this side, we're going to multiply by f on the other side. So your next line is 12 times f equals 60. Just to reiterate, this is dividing by f. To move it to the other side, it becomes times. Divide times. So we haven't solved the question yet to find f, because here we have 12 times. So we're going to do the steps that we've done here. We have 12 times f. F equals 60. The 12 times on this side becomes divide by 12 on the opposite side. So f equals 5. Okay, so let's have a look at the last step. This was all about multiplication and division. The last step for me is looking at squares and square roots. So if I said we had the square root of z equals 5, then it's this square root that I need to change so I can find the value of z. So if I remove the square root, I do a square on the other side. So just put your finger over that. Z equals 5. So that bit hasn't changed. Change the square root to a square. So that is still balanced. Z equals 5 times 5 is 25. The next one, s squared equals 16. So s is what we need to find. We need to remove the square, and the opposite of a square is a square root. So write this down, s equals 16. The square on this side becomes a square root on this side. And the square root of 16 is 4. Excuse me. So the final couple of examples from me on this one. Let's just do z equals p q r, and I would like to make p my subject. So it's on the top line, which means we can leave it there, and we need to move q and r away. So q and r will travel to this side. Ask yourself the question, how are they attached? Well, it's by multiplication. P times q times r. So if we divide on the other side, z equals p, and this goes from times on this side to divide on this side. So this is correct, but as usual, we write it this way round. Okay, little recording glitch there, sorry about that. So let's take another formula. X equals W plus YZ. And I would like to make W the new subject. So it's on the top line. So if I hold that, but this time there's no multiplication or division, it's just addition and subtraction. So we've got plus yz, we're going to do minus yz on the other side. X minus yz equals w. And that's it. So w equals x minus yz, and there's the answer. The very last one, I just want to take this same formula and just make it take something a little more challenging. So x equals w plus yz, and I'd like us to find the z. What makes this difference is we have to think about the priorities that we do our calculations in, and we need to do the addition and subtraction before we do any multiplication and division. Okay, so this is what we want, so we need to move this away. So w is added, so your first step is to take w away. X minus w equals yz. Just let you ponder that one for a moment. You can always stop, pause and rewind. The next bit is we want to get z on its own, but it's stuck next to the y. How is the y attached? By multiplication. It's y times z. So we've got to divide by y to move it to the other side. So we will have x minus w equals z, and times y here becomes divide y here. And it's everything on the other side is divided by y. Just to change that around, z equals x minus w over y.